But this was my 2013. This was the year that changed my life. Welcome back to the vlog. A little bit different location for all the new subscribers of the last month or so. I'm back in Ottawa. I'm up here visiting my family. I was getting in a bit of a funk personally the last couple of weeks in Jacksonville, so coming home to see my family is recharging me a little bit, giving me a nice little break before going back, and then I have 3 weeks until the Jamaica Open so I can get into some serious preparation, practicing. I'm pumped for it. Since everything I have from my professional career is here in Ottawa, why not take you guys on a little trip down memory lane of my professional career? A lot of the people on the channel have met me in the last couple months and know that I've been playing mini tour golf this year, but don't really know my resume, let's say, or where I've played in the past. I've got all this memorabilia, I've got all my tour bags, I've got all my clubs from years past, so why not tell you guys about it? Tell you where my career started, when it stopped, where it started again, and some of the cool opportunities and doors that have opened. About 10 years ago, 2007, I qualified for the Canadian Tour. I finished, I believe, 6th or 7th, so I got my tour card for 2008, and I was pumped. I moved down to Florida, to Sarasota, Florida in January of 2008 and started to prepare for my professional debut that April. Yeah, the tour started in April out in California. We played in California, we played in Mexico before going up to Canada. But 2008 was my first year. I've got my Canadian Tour badges here. You can see that bad boy. So that was it, 2008. And then here was my membership card. I had a lot of hair then, but that was my first year on the Canadian Tour. So I played all of 2008 on the Canadian Tour. I did lose my card, but I finished high enough on the money list that I got into events that we had co-sanctioned with the TLA, which is now PGA Tour Latin America. So those events were November, December of 2008, but they counted for the 2009 schedule. And I played well enough in those that I gained some status for 2009 on the Canadian Tour. So 2009 badge right there, put that in focus. And there's my 2009 card. Not a flattering picture either. 2009, I lost my card. I played a few events, didn't play very well. So I lost my card again, went back to Q School in the fall of 2009, and I got my Canadian Tour card back for 2010. So there's the 2010 badge, 2010 card, and guess what? 2010, I played the entire summer with tendonitis. It was really bad. It was painful, it sucked. Didn't keep my card, I didn't play very well. Probably played about maybe 7 events that year. That would be a pretty good guess. But yeah, so the off time in 2009 and 10 when I was a conditional member, I played Great Lakes Tour events for the first time. And in 2009, I won my first ever professional tournament on the Great Lakes Tour. So that was pretty special to get into the winner's circle, to hold the trophy. It felt pretty great. I don't have any photographs of that. There's one on my phone, but that's about it. All I have here are more things that my parents have kept from 2013 and beyond. I've taken you to 2010, so now what happened? Well, 2011 was probably the worst year of my career and also the worst year of my life. For anyone that has looked at some of the older vlog episodes or special episodes I've made about my health and my mental health and my suicide attempts, that was 2011. That was a year where I stopped golfing in August, basically retired in August. I remember playing the PGA Tour Canada, or then Canadian Tour event in Seaforth, missed the cut, and that was it. I got a job and golf was done. And then that transitioned into 2012 where I moved to Toronto and worked for TaylorMade Adidas. I was a club fitter and I played a few tournaments here and there. I played some Great Lakes Tour events because I worked at a restaurant in the evenings sometimes to save up some money to pay entry fees on this mini tour, and I played some events. And I got into a couple of Canadian Tour events as well in 2012, qualified for one and got an exemption into another one. And then in the fall of 2012, the Canadian Tour was going bankrupt and the PGA Tour was coming in to buy it and essentially save it. So I went to Q School in the fall of 2012. I got the last card and that gave me status for 2013. And in that winter, the PGA Tour bought the Canadian Tour. So now it's PGA Tour Canada. It's a bigger deal. People wanted to pay attention to this tour. And in that publicity and media interest, a couple sports writers found some blogs that I had written about my struggles with depression and suicide. As a little sidebar, I actually blogged all of 2008 and 2009 on tour. I even made some YouTube videos in 2009. They're long gone now because They weren't very good, but I think it's apparent that I really like sharing my experiences. And in 2008, I was doing it in a way to try to help myself because I was very unhappy. Whereas now I'm in a good place and it's a cool thing to try to give back to people. So that's a little sidebar. I was an internet dork almost 10 years ago, as much as I am now. But 2013, that's where we're at. PGA Tour bought us. A couple sports writers had written about me. I got a special thing where I was in Score Golf magazine. They did a profile of my battles and my struggles and my overcoming depression, surviving suicide attempt. I'm trying to find it here. Where is it? Let's get this page. Here it is. Survivor. This was a really, really special moment to be featured in a national magazine talking about mental health and golf, and it was pretty crazy. And this was a catalyst to kind of changing my life, my career, my everything. Because the PGA Tour staff read this article, saw this article, and they asked me if I would do more of a in-depth profile on what I had been through on the PGA Tour Canada TV show. So the 2013 Great Waterway Classic, I got to host the TV show, but I also got to really talk about what I had been through off the golf course. And you know what? I think we took the profile out here because it's in a shadow box that I made about 2013. Without further ado, this was my year on PGA Tour Canada in 2013. There's my profile in the Great Waterway Classic program, and this was the crew from the Cornwall Mental Health and Addiction facility that we gave a clinic with. One of my best friends, Oliver Tubb, right there. And I've stayed in touch with some of these guys even 4 years later. A pretty special moment. There was my badge from 2013, or sorry, my card from 2013. My badge, it sits in my car as just a reminder of where I want to get back to playing. But this was my 2013. This was the year that changed my life. I only got 2 starts and I missed both those cuts, but this was something that changed my life because that profile, that PGA Tour television show got picked up and seen by Kelly Rudy. He played for the LA Kings. He was one of my favorite goalies growing up. And then he introduced me to Michael Landsberg. Michael Landsberg brought me on his television show to talk about sports and mental health. And here are the first 2 off the records I did in 2013. First 2 of 9. I did 9 of those at that television show. Just talking sports, talking mental health. It was pretty cool. And the dominoes that were falling in allowing me to become a public speaker. I started doing more interviews, more appearances, speaking about mental health, and then that put me in contact with Bell, became an ambassador for Bell Let's Talk, and that's now how golf and mental health and my awareness and public speaking have all mixed together. I haven't always been a mini tour player. I took some time off, I got back to playing, and yes, I lost my card in 2013, but 14, 15, 16, 17, I've just been kind of sputtering my wheels a little bit on mini tour golf, but I have got some starts on PGA Tour Canada. I've qualified, I've gotten exemptions, and I've still won some tournaments in that time. So it's been progression every year. And then this year easily was my best year. So that's really encouraging for what's coming next year. And especially today, I just found out that one of the sites for PGA Tour Canada's Q School is in my backyard. It's at the Valley Course at TPC Sawgrass. It's 5 miles from where I live. So that's encouraging. If I can get the money to enter, I have no expenses. I can sleep in my own bed, eat my own food, no travel, no hotel, no nothing. So that's really, really encouraging, and it's incredibly motivating because I'd like to get back on PGA Tour Canada because A, the competition's amazing and it can open a lot of doors, and B, I've got such great memories from playing on that tour for 4 seasons. I want to get back. I want to get back out there. That's my professional career kind of condensed in a little bit of a nutshell, little trip down memory lane. Last thing I'm going to do though, since we're here, since I've got golf clubs from all of these years, why not give you a quick tour of my bags from all those years? This was my first ever tour bag. This was 2008 when I first played on the Canadian Tour. This bag is sitting in a closet here in my parents' basement. These were all the clubs I used turning pro, and then my first couple years on tour. I turned pro with these Titleist, 695 CBs, some old putters, some old drivers. This was my first experience with a tour bag. Here's where it gets really cool. This one right here, 2012, when I worked for TaylorMade at the Performance Center. I was a custom fitter for them. These were the clubs I used. This was my first time using TaylorMade golf clubs, 2012, and boy oh boy, things never looked back. If I had used TaylorMade from the start of my career, I might have never had to go actually work for them because I probably would have been playing a lot better from the jump. So there's 2013. This was the RBZ tour bag. RBZ Rescues. These were my irons. I still used the MBs then. and I had RBZ Tour in the 3 and the 4 iron. I never used this 5 iron. You'll notice all the drivers are gone. If you remember back in my bedroom in Jacksonville, I have all the driver heads that I've used over those years. This bag, 2015, when I started repping Bell Let's Talk. Here are the RSIs, beautiful. A rescue I never used because I had a 2 iron. So this was 12, 13, didn't have anything for 14, didn't get a tour bag. Oh no, this is 14's bag. Didn't have a bag in 15, that's right. I used this bag for 14 and 15. And here's 2016, here's last year's bag. Beautiful, sleek black when I used the PSIs. And then the one that's right there is in Florida. That's my 2017 bag. I hope you gearheads enjoy that. This special trip down memory lane, I condensed 9 years pretty quickly for you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you a little more insight into where my career has been, where my career dropped off, and how my career has been picking up again. I can't thank you guys enough for being part of this. 2018 I think is gonna be a huge year. The camera's falling. Gonna be a huge year. So give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, because there's gonna be a lot of cool things coming in 2018 and I don't want you to miss it. I'm gonna enjoy a few more days with my family and I'll be back to Florida on Saturday, and next week, got a really special week planned for you. I think I'm gonna try to embark on the daily vlog, 5 days of my practice and how I'm gonna start prepping for the Jamaica Open. So we'll see you then.